We are gonna make gingerbread house today. We are gonna make gingerbread house today. Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
Hi guys, this is Diya and welcome back to Mom and Me. In today's video, I have tried to recreate Chef Ranveer Brar's gingerbread house that was posted on his channel a few weeks ago. If you want to know whether or not I did justice to his piece of art, then stay tuned and watch the video till the end. Let me tell you guys beforehand that I seldom bake, and baking a gingerbread house was a tough, rather stressful journey for me. And I want you guys to be the final judge and rate me on the scale of 1 to 10. 1 being pathetic and 10 being amazing. This video is just meant to be for fun, so take a chill pill, guys, before watching and commenting below. So, when I told my kids that I will be making the gingerbread house today, they got way too excited and wanted to stay home and help me decorate the cookies. It was such a Christmas vibe with kids dressed up in Christmas clothes, me making gingerbread house, and we listening to Aussie Jingle Bells. Did you know that Aussie Jingle Bells song exists? Well, I didn't knew before. I only found out lately when my kids were singing Christmas in Australia is on a scorching summer day. Hey, that's how I found about it. Anyway, let's get started with the video. But before we start, just a disclaimer that this video is only meant to be for fun and not the recipe video. So do not watch this for the recipe. Please watch the original video. So fasten your seatbelts, guys, grab your coffee, and let's roll. Let me start by making the gingerbread spice mix. In the spice mix, I omitted mace and red button chilies. As I honestly didn't had them on hand, neither I know what these two spices are. I actually thought of adding red dry chilies to replace the red button chilies, but soon realized that gingerbread house is not meant to be super spicy, but maybe sweet. So drop that idea. Also, I use the cinnamon powder instead of cinnamon sticks while grinding the spice mix, as I thought that might be easy on my Nutri Ninja.
Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be?
I was constantly referring to the chef's video as this recipe had many elements, making the spice mix, then the dough, icing, decoration, lastly the caramel. So I had to refer to the original video many times as I keep forgetting the next step. The spice mix is now ready and time to mix all the liquid ingredients for making the dough. I kept the exact proportions ready before turning the flame on. And guess what? I happen to have the exact same cast iron pan as the chef. Such a coincidence.
Making our Christmas memories, oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories, oh, oh.
Anyway, I added all the wet ingredients, gave it a boil, and set it aside to cool a little. And meanwhile, I started working on the dry ingredients. Till this point, I was super confident that I can pull off the recipe and make the gingerbread house. But there were certain parts like making the icing and caramel which I wasn't sure of. As I mentioned before, I am not a baker. I can only bake pizzas and lasagnas but not cakes and pastries. And hence I was doubtful too. It was kind of a mixed feeling. So only time will tell what I am capable of. Now, time to mix all the dry and wet ingredients and make the dough. While I was making the dough, I felt that the dough was too dry. My instinct and experience said that I should add more water. But remember chef's words, don't let moisture get into the dough. Now, while I'm editing this video, I wonder if he really meant to say that or was it just for a Acai brand promotion? Well, I decided to go with what he said and not add any more water into the dough. But while rolling the dough, I felt I should have added at least 1 tablespoon of water. Anyway, I made the dough and glad wrapped it and put it in the fridge for around 20 to 25 minutes. Meanwhile, I was trying to figure out the gingerbread house dimensions. Somewhere I didn't think what was mentioned in his video's description box was correct, as I cut the roof and the walls to the exact same dimensions as were mentioned in his recipe, but they were like clearly off. He had mentioned two rectangles 4 by 6 inches each for the roof and two triangles 3 by 5 inches for the walls. Also, the side of the triangles had to be chopped off, making it even smaller. I cut them on a piece of paper and tried to make the house, and soon I realized that the dimensions were not right. So, I did some maths and figured out that the triangle should be 5.5 by 8 inches, so that when you cut its edges, then it comes to 3 by 5-inch triangle, which is what was mentioned in the recipe. However, it could have been explained more clearly in the recipe that 3 by 5 is with the edges cut off. And also mentioning the original triangle size. That's what I feel. So, after I figured out the dimensions and cut the template, I decided to roll the dough and cut the individual pieces and finally bake them. I got carried away and added too much dusting flour to my chopping board to get that perfect shot, just like the chef. And in doing so, I added too much flour to already dried dough. I kind of messed up there as the dough was breaking while I was rolling it and was really hard to roll too. I was using my full force to make it thin, but though I was aware of the fact that I had to roll it even thinner, I decided to use what I had and I went ahead and cut the roof and the walls.
It's an early December morning. No one but we are. We look out the window as it's starting to snow. And I realize as you hand me the coffee cup,
When it was time to make the cookies, the dough was super dry and I just couldn't work with it. So I sprinkled little water and reworked the dough and I realized it was much easier to work with. I could even manage to roll it thinner than before. But I was in no mood to redo the house pieces as my kids were constantly asking me, Mom, is the gingerbread ready? Is the gingerbread house ready? Can we decorate it? Are the cookies ready? I don't know what I was thinking when I agreed to let them stay home and not go to that daycare. Decided to bake the gingerbread house and film it. Wow, that was quite a job I took over. I wonder if professional chefs take lunch break or not. But I did. We took lunch break, snack break, and many other breaks in between as I was juggling too many things at the same time. Cooking, filming, kids, their breaks, their routine, etc., etc. Finally, the point came when kids could help. They cut the cookies, and believe me or not, they started fighting who will cut it first. Kiddos. By the way, a lot of you guys are asking me about the scar on my hand. I actually got burned few months ago with hot oil, and this scar is still there. I'm fine though, and there's nothing to worry about. But, guys, thanks for observing and asking.
I'm falling just like the snowflakes, falling for you, falling for you.
Finally, time to bake. I made sure this time I keep an eye on the cookies being baked. I was once baking chocolate brownie. It was my first time making it, and the recipe said 20 minutes in the oven. And I was bindas, relaxing those 20 minutes, lying on my sofa, only to realize that I could smell something burning, and I had burned the brownies. So I'm not taking any risk today, as the chef said each oven is different, and mine is like way old age and seemed to get too hot too quick. So after 15 minutes, I think the cookies are baked. I will keep them on the wire rack so that they do not get soggy from the bottom And while the cookies are resting, I will make the icing. I have never made icing before, so I'm strictly following the recipe shown, which is adding water, icing sugar, and lemon. For my day to day use, I normally use raw sugar. And you know what? I had no idea that you can get so many types of sugars in the supermarket. Icing sugar, brown sugar, extra brown sugar, caster sugar, white sugar. Don't judge me, guys, but this was really something new for me. So while making the icing, I'm not sure when exactly should I stop to double boil. As I said, I have never done this thing before. There were no clear instructions in the recipe as well. So I guess I will make a call and stop the heat. I will also melt some white chocolate while the double boiler is still hot. While I was melting the chocolate, I decided actually not to use the icing to decorate the cookies as it was not thickening enough. Rather, I decided to use the white chocolate to decorate the gingerbread house, the roof, the doors, the cookies, everything. I used parchment paper to make few cones and fill them up with white chocolate. And voila, I called the kids to do the decoration part. I could have done it myself to make them perfect, but I didn't want it to take away that fun part for the kids. They were so excited to decorate the cookies for Santa, so I let them do it, even if that means that my cookies are not going to look as perfect and beautiful as chefs.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down, and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love.
I only used white chocolate to decorate the cookies, not the dark chocolate. I also used some food color like green food color for the Christmas tree and little red food color for the gingerbread cookie, just like the chef did. Kids loved sprinkling the sparkles on top of the cookies. It was most fun part for them. They not only decorated with the sparkles but sneaked some in their mouth as well. A little behind the scenes, they were eating each leftover bit of the chocolate and being grumpy if one got less than the other.
Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe's baby with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend.
I finally went ahead and decorated the roof and the walls of the house and let it sit for 15 minutes in the refrigerator for white chocolate to harden. So while the chocolate is hardening in the refrigerator, I will make the caramel and finally assemble or stick the gingerbread house together. You know, guys, I was this close to the final gingerbread house, and guess what happened? I completely messed up making the caramel. I just couldn't get it right. I had to use the caster sugar, but it did not melt. Instead, it was turning hard and grainy. I managed to stick only one piece before the caramel was hardened, and I had to make another batch of caramel. I was tired and annoyed and was almost thinking to give up. I called my kids and told them, look, guys, I am sorry. I could not make the gingerbread house. It's just not happening, and I just can't seem to put it together and stick it. And there comes my 4-year-old son, and what he told me really blew my mind. He said, Mom, it's okay if you cannot finish it. At least you tried. I was amazed and motivated, and I was like pumped up. I thought to myself, I have to finish it. Even if it's not perfect, I have to do it. So I went ahead and assembled the house. Somehow, I messed up with the chocolate decoration of the roof in doing so. It would have been better that I first stick the house together, then decorated it. Well, lessons learned. I didn't shoot the final assembly of the gingerbread house as I was seriously struggling at that time. I was annoyed, and least I bothered at that time was to film. I just wanted to get over and done with it, just like how we used to feel in the examination hall. Just get over with it now. Adding some snow effect with icing sugar was seriously a savior. It hid a lot of flaws and gave that snow and Santa and Christmas vibe. Well, it was nowhere near what chef had made, but I was happy that I completed it. I did not stick the cookies like the chef did as the caramel had given up on me. So I just laid them there. Finally, I was ready with my gingerbread house. By then, kids were tired and they were playing outside in a backyard, so I called them in to show the house and for a taste check too. And of course, their final verdict, because that's all matters, isn't it? I did it all for them, and of course, to shoot as well, to be honest. So, first thing they wanted to do, even before tasting, was to spin the lazy Susan. And my son did it fine, but my daughter, she flew all the cookies off the lazy Susan. Anyway, after tasting the cookie, this was their reaction on the camera. And once the camera was off, they kept that piece of cookie back and never asked for it again. Well, they said it's for Santa. Well, I guess that said a lot to me, isn't it? So, guys, what do you think about my gingerbread house? I know you can't taste it, but at least how it looks. I know my structure is very flimsy, it can fall anytime. I was scared and I filmed it ASAP before the house collapsed, but it stayed still till the next morning as well. So, it wasn't that flimsy, it was just not rightly done. It was done all in fun spirit. I wanted to do something Christmas special, but because we didn't had a lot of Christmas decoration or the tree, I thought this would be a very good idea. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. For full recipe, as I said, please go to Ranveer Brar's YouTube channel. Do not follow what I've done. And I will sign off on this note. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and a lovely new year. I shall see you in my next video, and bye for now.